Okay, welcome in, welcome back. How's everybody doing? Before we get started today, do us the biggest favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, we are live on Twitter as well. If you're watching on Twitter or YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. That helps us a ton. Quite a plentiful news day today. Appreciate everybody who's jumping in. Let me make sure my audio settings are correct. So yes, phone line is open. Number to call is 260-255-4069 is the number to call. Also NFL Seahawks and Niners, I believe, are going on right now. Let me get that up. We'll delete that. So yeah, also some college hoops on tonight, but yeah, Saturday night NFL as well. Appreciate everybody who has decided to jump in. I got to do a repost. Phone line is open. It's wide open if you guys want to call. Get that going. Getting some stuff posted, but yes, the phone line is open. I'm getting to the topics here. Give me a second. Getting that posted. We can start with ESPN.com, what they've got at the top of the list, trending college football and basketball. We're going to introduce some hoops into this segment. Kentucky, wow, tough one today. Let me get that. Get that in there. Yeah, how do I want to do that? Okay. But yeah, there's that. Phone line is open. Number to call 260-255-4069. So the big news, I think it's coming as no shock, as the Seahawks Niners are in the fourth quarter, but comes to no shock at all. The North Texas quarterback Drew Missmaker is committed to Oklahoma State. He follows Eric Morris, his head coach. So there is that. All types of portal stuff. Honestly, there's so many portal moves going on right now. I try to keep that. I try to keep up with that as much as possible. But also, there's the phone line. I have dropped that in the chat as well. Number to call 260-255-4069. We got that. And then but yeah, we got the Niners. Got the Manning cast on. Also, tons of college hoops. Florida's trying to mount a comeback against Missouri. Let's see here. Interesting stat for Georgia. heading into the off season. CFP Kings posted this. Georgia is the only team this year to beat every opponent that they played. They've split with Ole Miss and Alabama. They end up beating Alabama in the SEC championship game, and they end up avenging the loss from Alabama. They beat Ole Miss in the regular season and lose to Ole Miss in the postseason. So there is some food for thought there with the Bulldogs. Also, we'll turn the attention to Kentucky basketball here. Also, we'll leave the phone line open for a half hour. People call in, they call in. If they don't, we'll go ahead and end the stream. Kentucky basketball this year 1-5 versus ranked opponents. Not turning out particularly well for Mark Pope. So there's kind of that angle of it. I know I've seen a lot of stuff out there today, especially on the Kentucky side of things. They drop one to Alabama, not particularly well, and then they got Missouri coming up, and Missouri's currently beating Florida right now, so he's about to hit the gauntlet for all intents and purposes. Kentucky is sitting at 9-5 this year. 9-5 with losses to North Carolina. They got blown out by Gonzaga, and they start the new year off with a loss to Alabama. I know that's kind of not ideal. Also, if you're new here, do us the biggest favor, hit that like and subscribe button, and also the phone line is open. Sorry for the pause there. I know it's just riveting podcasting. Phone line is open. Number to call 260-255-4069 is the number to call. So there's that. As we're looking at it. So yeah, that's kind of Kentucky summed up in a nutshell. Mark Pope 1-5 versus ranked opponents this year. As I'm looking at some other stuff, Parker Livingston, the wide receiver from Texas, I guess there's some Parker Livingston was told he had to hit the portal. Don't know, because in his statement that he released, never in a million years did I think I would be going into the transfer portal looking for a new home. Some things are out of my control. Such is the reality of the ever-changing landscape of college football. That was pretty much Parker Livingston's opening statement. So we'll see how that checks out. Also, as the Niners are driving in the fourth quarter, they're down 13-3. They're down 2 scores as well. So there is that. Also, phone line is open. I guess I could just put this up. There is that. If you call, just so everybody knows, there's about a 15-second delay if you call. So there is that. Appreciate everybody who's hopping in as we get started here. It takes a little bit for YouTube to get it pushed out. Also, if you like college football, you like college basketball, or football in general, like this video. But also, on last night, something that kind of caught my eye, the Duke's Mayo Bowl. They had the Mayo Man out there passing out full bottles of mayonnaise. It was a shirtless fella in overalls passing out mayonnaise. I guess you got to love the Duke's Mayo Bowl, but they were having people take a bite of chicken and then squirting them with mayonnaise. That's just reckless in my opinion. So there is that. Duke's Mayo, I would have to say I'm out on that, and I couldn't believe, we might have a brouhaha going on in the Niners Seahawks game. So there is that. Also trying to keep up with, the ever-changing transfer portal. Half the time you don't know who's in the portal, and then you have kids that hop in the portal and they end up coming back. So I guess we'll see how this whole thing shakes out, to say the least. Okay, I guess on more transfer portal news, the Omarion Miller, Colorado wide receiver, hits the transfer portal. His 3 seasons at Colorado, 66 receptions, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. I guess he's going to be arriving at Arizona State sometime, and then this is via Hayes Fawcett. Arizona State, and then I guess Texas Tech. So he's getting courted by some Big 12 schools as well. As I had alluded to on the postgame show, the Ole Miss postgame call-in show that people wanted to call like an hour after the show was over. No fault of yours. Some people don't know when stuff is live, or they join late and restart and something pops up, just whatever. Not a big deal. I guess in the Ole Miss side of things, Charlie Weiss is going to be the only assistant out of 6. All the other guys, I guess, are going to LSU. It looks like he's going to be the only coach returning on offense. Excuse me. So there's going to be that. Also, Seahawks, big turnover going on right now. The Hawks turnover, Brock Purdy. Purdy, since coming back, was like 6-0 or something like that. I believe I seen that. So big turnover by Seattle. Ball batted at the line. Ball batted at the line. Hits McCaffrey in the hands, and the Seattle defender recovers it. So there is that. Nothing else really bizarre about the Charlie Weiss thing. I figured this was going to happen. I figured Lane would talk the other guys into coming back. So Ole Miss taking on Miami in the Fiesta Bowl. So there is that. I guess we'll see. Also remind you guys, phone line is open. Number to call, 260-255-4069 is the number to call. So Charlie Weiss, the only one returning back for Ole Miss. Also, some very interesting comments today for, speaking of the Fiesta Bowl, some interesting comments today for Mario Cristobal. He said at the Fiesta Bowl, I don't know if they're there yet, but I believe it was in Miami, but he had media availability today. Mario Cristobal calls Ole Miss the best team that they're going to play this year. So I think that's a pretty big statement coming from Cristobal. So there is that. Also, phone line is open. Number to call, 260-255-4069. Cristobal says that. And then also, college basketball note here. That was a big shot by Missouri. College basketball note here. Where's that? There it is. Miami of Ohio, I guess, is 15-0 right now. So shout out to the Red Hawks. That's a fascinating story, to say the least. Also, I was looking at, what was I looking at? this over here. There's also the Cincinnati quarterback is also looking at, I guess, LSU. I guess he's going down there to meet with Kiffin and them, so that could be fascinating. So I think Kiffin's probably going to get his guy. Michael Van Buren also hits the transfer portal today. I think that's fascinating. And then we are going to get to some of the Ohio State stuff here in a few. Leaving that kind of on the back end. I was hoping there'd be more Ohio State folks in here, but I get it. A lot of my content's not marketed towards the Ohio State people. But if you have any comments and want to call in, you're free to. Phone number is on the ticker below. If you can't read the ticker below, the phone number is 260-255-4069 is the number to call. So let's get the phones lighting up. If you want to call, go ahead and hop on in. So as we go through some other stuff, but also the kid that, what was it? The kid that Baylor signed, that's the former 31st overall draft pick. He made his debut tonight. I believe 5 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 turnovers. So that sounds like that is a kind of the juice worth the squeeze there. Also, Mike Norvell, I guess DJ Lagway is going to go visit Florida State, go to the ACC and try his luck there. I'm assuming that's probably most likely a done deal, kind of in my opinion, but there is that. Also, I seen the ever polarizing figure Brandon Walker list on the podcast they did, I think, or well, I don't know if it was a podcast, but it was on Fox. They listed the teams in order that they think their fan bases will turn on them immediately. They have a whole clip up on it on Barstool, but I thought the list was interesting. Number 1, Lane Kiffin, LSU. The LSU fan base, I believe, is toxic. But then again, at the end of the day, what SEC fan base isn't toxic? Lane Kiffin 1, Michigan 2, James Franklin 3, Matt Campbell 4. I would actually bump Penn State to 2 if it was me. Pat Fitzgerald on there, John Summerall at Florida, Bob Chesney, UCLA, Eric Morris, Oklahoma State, Charles Huff at Memphis, and Brian Hartline at USF. But I don't know what exactly the expectation is at USF. Very interesting stuff. So the boys over at Rebels 247 basically have said that the Austin Simmons Missouri thing is a done deal. So I guess we'll see whenever the news comes out with that. I know they reported that yesterday as I'm looking at it and can't get off the notifications quick enough. Just 3 seconds ago, Pete Thamel tweets out, former Arkansas State quarterback committed to Iowa State. So Arkansas State loses their quarterback. Ty Richardson from Vanderbilt is in the portal. Baylor losing an offensive lineman. He's a former A&M transfer, goes to Baylor. Now he's in the portal again. So, I mean, that guy's working on 3 schools in 3 years. So, and then Will Tompkins, the Iowa State. You're going to see a lot of Iowa State guys go to Penn State. I think that's inevitable. A lot of them are going to follow Matt Campbell. I think he probably had a a hand select list of guys to come with him. So there's that. Also, Cam Perry, former Indiana, former Miami of Ohio wide receiver, is going to try his luck at Colorado. So I guess they're getting that to replace Omarion Miller. And then a big one today, Auburn cornerback Jay Crawford is coming to Ole Miss. Pete Golding gets his first big commitment. So there is that. Former Auburn standout. Very interesting and fascinating stuff. So, I mean, today was no shortage of guys hitting the portal. Penn State signs a receiver in the, I believe, a 2027 class. And then Sam Leavitt, the Arizona State quarterback, with the no contact tag on him in the portal. Interesting. Also, Pete Nako's reporting James Franklin, I guess, is going to have a bunch of guys coming in from the portal to come visit Virginia Tech. Not shocked by that. I figured James would be bringing in a lot of Penn State guys as the Penn State guys filter out or cycle out to head on over to Virginia Tech. You're going to have the Iowa State guys step right in. So it's going to be a mix and mash. Some kids aren't going to want to leave Pennsylvania. Wanted to be Penn State guys. So there's that. So we got some interesting things going on in the portal. Seattle with it, and they're driving. Oh, I don't know if that is a catch or not. Nope. The Niners thought they had one there. So there's that. As I'm looking to see what some of the other latest and greatest is out there. A lot of Dan Lanning and Kirk Signetti stuff out there. There was something else. Calipari's comments on the portal and Baylor signing that kid that was a former draft pick. Did anybody think that 15 years ago that the landscape of college basketball would change so much that people would be siding with John Calipari and thinking Calipari was the voice of reason when it came to this? I didn't think so. I didn't think that was on many people's bingo cards. So there is that. Just looking at all the transfer stuff is just, I mean, completely bizarre. Also, something that I brought up last night was Carson Beck's record versus the versus ranked opponents is very interesting. So, and we'll keep it going a little bit longer, but outside of that, no calls. We'll shut her on down for the week. Might be back tomorrow night. Not 100% sure. Maybe might do a Steelers post game show depending on how that shakes out. So Brandon Walker tweeted this out. I don't know if I talked about this yesterday, but it says, now we have the Ohio State conversation. They started the season by scoring 14 on Texas, ended the season with 10 versus Indiana and 14 versus Miami, and then in between beat 10 nobodies. These huge conferences are allowing teams to fraud their way through the season and look pretty damn fake tonight. I hate to give Brandon Walker credit, but he's 100% right. with some of these conferences, the way the draw of the conference is, I mean, we can pull up Ohio State's schedule. I mean, it is what it is, but I mean, just looking at, they played Texas, then they played Grambling, Ohio, Washington, Minnesota, Illinois. Illinois was ranked at the time, I think. Wisconsin, Penn State with no James Franklin, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers. Then they played Michigan at the end of the year. Basically, outside of that, any team with a pulse, Ohio State struggled against them. So, I mean, some people would probably disagree and say greatest thing since sliced bread, but I don't know. And then also, if people didn't know, Marcel Reed is returning to A&M for his 2026 season. I didn't know that there was a debate on that, or he was thinking about going to the NBA, or not the NBA, but the NFL. I was going to say, Bud, better come back to college and get some of that College Station money. Also, Mississippi State beats Texas tonight. I think that's fascinating. And then also the Buccaneers lock up their playoffs. They're going to win their division. They had Eddie George tonight at the Bowling Green hockey game. Thought that was kind of cool. He was out there pumping up the crowd, although, I mean, when you're Eddie George, it's, you know, in the state of Ohio, you're going to do some crowd numbers there. I don't know if they announced that he was coming to the hockey game for Bowling Green, so there's that. Also, if you've made it this far in the video, do us the biggest favor, hit that like and subscribe button and help us grow this platform. We're on the verge of getting to 500. So that is the ultimate goal. Appreciate everybody coming to hang out. Also, I'd kind of like out of the semifinal games, Indiana, Oregon, and Ole Miss, Miami. I would like to know who you guys got. You guys taking the dogs, going to take Oregon and Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss in Indiana. So there's that. Just looking at some other stuff. Nothing really too noteworthy. The portal stuff is kind of too early to tell. It's interesting. And then Eric Henry tweeted from Sean Miller tonight. I guess a quote from him: "If I tell you not to cross the street and you do, and a bus hits you, I'm not going to take responsibility, but damn it, how many times do I have to tell you we have some of that?" So Sean Miller not happy with his team after the overtime loss to Mississippi State tonight. I mean, I believe SEC play opened. I think tonight was the first night for that. So just a little simple show. Nothing too crazy. Man, I can't believe Arkansas State is losing their quarterback. I'm not really shocked. I think he probably played well enough to earn some dough in the transfer portal. So that's kind of that. Also, Alex Stein got a lot of pub whenever he was hitting up trolling the Buckeyes outside of the stadium. where they played at the Cotton Bowl. He actually lives there, I believe, or close to there or something. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. A lot of the Buckeye fans got in their feels, but there's that. Can Mark Pope save Kentucky basketball? We will see. As the Niners are trying to drive to get back into it, Brock Purdy looks like he ripped up the thumbnail. I believe this is for the division. So there's that. So outside of that, nothing too major. If you made it this far in the video, hit the like and subscribe button, and we will possibly talk to you tomorrow. Appreciate everybody who tuned in on this Saturday night. I guess nobody wanted to call tonight, so we will talk to you guys later. Have a good night, everybody.